Okay, time for the Unit 5 review. This is, I think, the last one of the semester. Now, you need to see a graph, write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line shown. So, slope-intercept form, okay? Y equals blank x plus blank, okay? Alright, so, this is the M, this is the B. So, we got to find the M and the B. Remember what these mean, though. M is slope. B is y-intercept. So obviously if I see a graph, I'll figure out the y-intercept first, where the line crosses the y. That would be easiest to find first, okay? Right there. Now I go from the middle and I see how many units that is, up obviously. So positive 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4. So positive 4 is your B. That's also going to be point number 1. Now to find the slope, it's rise over run. Okay, you don't do y minus yx minus x here because we see the graph. Okay, now that's point 1. I got to find myself a point number 2, and I think it would be right there. Okay, so the rise, well, from point 1 I'd have to go down. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So negative 3 is our rise, and then our run. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, that negative 3 over 4 is in simplest form because on your multiplication table, the only place those appear together are in the first row. Okay, so it would stay negative 3/4. So actually from the graph, we do the B first. Okay, mark that as, find out what that is. It's 4. Okay, because again, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, on our next one, y equals blank x plus blank. So this is the M blank, this is the B blank. So M is our slope, and B is the y-intercept. So we need to find our B first, okay? So I go from the middle, there's a point, I mark that point. What point is that, okay? Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So negative 4 is the B this time. Okay, then from that point, okay, that's point 1, and I move forward. Don't move this way, okay? You need to be moving forward. Right there, I think that'll work. Okay, that is point 2. Okay, so rise over run. Okay, so the rise, 1, 2. So it's positive 2. And the run goes 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it'll be 2 over 3. So 2/3. The only place I see 2/3 is 1. So if I divide each one of these by 1, it's still 2/3. Okay, and that's how you write an equation from a line from a graph. Okay, now in the second part, we are graphing equations. Graph the equation. Okay, so number 3, y equals negative 2x plus 3. Okay, y's here, so is x. On the test, when you see y and x, okay, you're going to use your slope y-intercept method. Put it down forward, put it down so in case we have to rearrange the equation, but I don't here because the y is by itself, so I have the m and the b right here. So negative 2 is my slope. You need to put a 1 with that. And then your y-intercept's plus 3. So B, that's the same as the y-axis. So you go positive 1, positive 2, positive 3. Okay. Then we use the slope. So the run is 1 and the rise is negative 2. So I go down 2, forward 1, down 2, forward 1, or forward 1, down 2. It doesn't matter. Okay. And then that line represents all the points. Making that table, that should not be used here today. Okay. All right, number 4. 2x plus 4y equals 12. Now again, x and y are both in the equation, so again, we want to apply the slope and y-intercept. Slope is m, y is b, but to know m and b, the y has to be by itself. It's not, okay? So you circle dot and put a multiplication dot and circle your y. Now obviously my y is a positive, so I don't need to do the opposite rule. Okay. I need to get rid of the 2x, so I might take out the 2x. Now I need an x over there, so I'm minus 0x, and then I'm minus 2x. So we got 4 times y, okay. Now you got to put your x first or you're screwed. You put 12 down, you're going to get it wrong, okay. So 0 minus 2 is negative 2, and then plus the 12. Now we're just about there, but we still got the times 4, so I need to divide my y by 4, and I need to divide each of these by 4 separately. Now this is not negative 2, okay? That's 4 divided. When the smaller number's on top, it's a decimal. And remember the rule for slopes. We don't want them as decimals, so we're going to put it as negative 2 over 4, and that's your m. Now 12 divided by 4 is 3. Okay? So now I'm in good shape. I know my m is negative 2 over 4. Negative's just with the 2. The 4 is still positive. Then plus 3 on the b. Now if you wanted to look up that on the multiplication table and divide it each by 2, that's fine. I'm not going to require it though, because it could be divided each by 2. It'd be negative 1/2, okay? So that's up to you, but 1, 2, 3. So I go down 2. Down, the rise is negative, the run's always positive. That's why you need to make sure that's a positive. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And then there you go. Now some of you are going to be like, well, what would have happened if you divided it by 2? Well, let's look at it, okay? If I have negative 2 over 4, and I divide these both by 2, it'd be negative 1 over 2. So that'd be forward 2, down 1. But what happens from here if I go down 1 over 2? It'd be just the same line, okay? So really when I'm graphing, it doesn't matter if the slope's in reduced form, okay? It really doesn't. Okay, y equals 2. Where's x? X not here, okay? So that means x can be whatever, okay? Now we've stacked the 3 coordinates. And what is the letter that is there? It's y. What's it equal to? 2. Well, x not being here means x can be 1, 2, 3. Okay, whatever. I could do negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. It doesn't matter, okay? So forward 1 up 2, forward 2 up 2, forward 3 up 2. And that's your line. Now, that has a slope of 0. Now, when it's x instead of y, you just stack the number in the x's. Then x has the same number, but those lines end up like this, okay? Up, down. Okay, now 6 through 9. Write an equation of a line with the following traits. All these problems, okay, I'm actually going to kind of look at them all at the same time before I do each one of them individually, okay? You want to make that, pause the video, and if you want to break your boxes, you can. So on the first one, m equals negative 1/2 through 2, negative 2. The second one says the line's through 2, 1, and 5, negative 8. The third one says that the line has to be parallel to y equals 3x plus 2 through 1, 3. And then the last one says perpendicular to y equals 1/2 x minus 1 through negative 2, 3. Now, all these problems, all 4 of them, we're setting up with y equals blank x plus blank. All of them, okay? You need to find your space x, and you need to find your m space and your b space. So mb. M is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So the slope is negative 1/2, okay? So without m's negative 1/2. So we have our m, okay? This is not the y-intercept. You don't know the y-intercept. The reason it's not, because look at 2, negative 2. If I go forward 2, down 2, is that on this line here, this y line? No, it's not, okay? So you can't go by that. To find the b every time, you go y equals m times x plus b. Money, okay? It's a money equation to find the b. So the m is negative 1/2. Now what's x and y? Well, it's over here. Negative 2 goes in for y, and then 2 goes in for x. So I line up my equals, I drop my negative 2. I drop my plus, I want to put the b in front, just like always. So negative 1/2 times negative 2, it's 1. I'm just showing you how I'm doing it on a calculator. Okay, or no, I did that wrong. Okay, it's 1. I punched in the wrong thing. Okay, excuse me, negative 1. Okay, so you got to get rid of your negative 1. Plus 1, plus 1. Don't put the 1 in front of the b. You're wasting time. So that's negative 1. So there's the equation. Okay, now to check your answer, you can go negative 1/2 times, and then let's put 2 in for x. You have to put 2 in because that's the x value, and then add your negative 1. When I click equals, I should get the y value in the coordinate. I did. Okay, next one, same thing. All 4 of these, we're doing y equals blank x plus blank. All 4 of them. So m's a slope, b's a y-end. Okay. Alright, so the slope. I don't even have my slope, but I do have 2 solutions, 2 points on the line. So to come up with a slope, I do my y minus y, x minus x. We'll do that over here. Now let's circle the x's. That as the higher one, let's start there. Negative 8 on top, 5 on bottom. Then 1 on top, 2 on bottom. Plus negative, plus negative. So it's going to be negative 9 over 3. Okay. Now if you look those up on a multiplication table, 9 and 3 are both in the... I'll tell you what, on these problems, if you don't have to graph it, just divide it. If you don't have to graph, just divide it. Negative 3. Because you're not graphing. Okay. If you had to graph it, yeah, you'd reduce it by 3 and it'd be negative 3 over 1. Okay. Just divide it. Okay, b. Y equals m times x plus b. So the m, negative 3. Now for y and x, it doesn't matter what you pick. Let's have negative 8 going for y and 5 going for x. So I've got negative 8. I drop my plus. I put the b in front. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Get your negative 15 to 0 by adding it. Negative 8 plus 15, 7, so 7. If there's any doubt that that's right, punch in negative 3 times and then find an x coordinate. Let's go have 5 going for x, and then plus 7. If that's negative 8, I did it right. Yep, it is. Okay, now parallel perpendicular, the same setup applies. You just have to find it. You have a different method of discovering your m. The b is the same on all problems. Okay, remember on m, parallel means they have to have the same m, okay? So find the m on this equation. The y is by itself, so it's relatively easy. M is 3, b is 2. Ditch your plus 2, you have no use for that, okay? So parallel, it's got to have the same m, so it'd be 3. b, y equals m times x plus b. So m is 3. You are going to write, when you see parallel, you want to write same m, okay, same slope. Then x, y is used for mine, so 3 is y, 1 is x. So we got 3, b, 3 times 1 is 3. Get your plus 3 to 0 by minusing 3, and that's 0. Now you can have 0 in there. The back of the textbook would just say y equals 3x. You wouldn't see plus 0 with it, but you can have 0 there. It's all good. Now, if there's any doubt whether you did this right, 3 times 1 goes in for x. Ain't 3 times 1, 3 times 1 plus 0. Well, ain't that 3? Yeah, okay. Next one, same setup. MB. Perpendicular, okay, is different. You don't use the same M, you do what's called flipping the M and switching the sign. Flip M, switch sign. Write that down. Flip M, switch sign. So what is M? So M is 1/2, B is minus 1. Cross out the B, I don't want to see that. Okay? So you flip it to 2 over 1, and you switch the sign. So this is a positive here, so we have to have a negative here. Now, if you have a 1 underneath it, just ditch it, okay? Just put -2. If you want to put -2 over 1, fine, okay? It doesn't matter. Okay, y equals m times x plus b. So the m is -2, okay? So 3 is y times -2. So b, that's 4. -2 times -2 is 4. And I got to get rid of the 4. Plus minus 4 minus 4. 3 minus 4 is -1. So -2 times, and let's have -2 go in for x, okay, because they're right there. And let's add -1. I'm going to hit equals, and if this is 3, I did it right. Yep, it's 3. Okay, so important we get that down. Now the next part is my favorites, not. Graphing absolute value functions. Now I will put on your test the parent function, okay? Or it's a little reminder. Y equals absolute value x. So you're going to start with a table with 3 through -3. So if I put 3 in there, it's 3. If I put 2 in there, it's 2. That's the one that goes 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Now, do we have a negative? No, so we don't change signs. Now go inside the absolute value, there's a number there, put h. Now how do you handle an h? Well, you set the inside with equal to 0, okay, always 0, and then plus 4, okay. Just get your -4 to the 0. Okay, so 4, that's the number you add to the x's. So that's 7, 2 plus 4 is 6, 1 plus 4 is 5, 0 plus 4 is 4, -1 plus 4 is 3, -2 plus 4 is 2, -3 plus 4 is 1. Now there is not a number outside here after the final absolute value bracket. No number here with an adding or subtracting, so y stays put. So 7, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Then 6, 2. Then 5, 1. 4, 0 is the vertex. And then 3, 1. 2, 2. 1, 3. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay. So if you have minus an h, it goes 8 units, 4 units right. Now if you want to check and see why that's right, put 7 in for x. What's 7 minus 3? Basic math, 3. What's the absolute value of 3? That's 3 because it's 3 away from 0. How about 3? Now 3 minus 4 was -1, but the absolute value of -1 is 1. Okay. All right, number 11. Y equals absolute value x plus 3 on the outside. So again, go with that parent. Y equals absolute value x. So we start with the parent, the table that would fit the parent function. Then 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Now no negative in front, so the y's, we don't change the signs on the y's. Okay, we don't have an h, there's nothing in there, so the x's stay put, okay? We have a k. So k means don't go off to the side with your k, you just add 3 to all of your y outputs, okay? So 6, 2 plus 3 is 5, 1 plus 3 is 4, 0 plus 3 is 3, 1 plus 3 is 4, 2 plus 3 is 5, and then 6, okay? So now we're ready to graph. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3. Then left 1, 4, left 2, 5, left 2, 6. Again, k shifts it up or down. If it's plus k, it's going to be up, minus k is down. Okay, now it's story problem time. A computer repair service charges $50 for diagnosis. They also charge $35 per hour for repairs. When an equation, write an equation and slope-intercept form that relates to 2 units. Use it to find how many hours it will take for the total cost to reach $172.50. So this is 14, we're finding the hours. Okay, so we got hours and dollars. X is hours, Y is dollars, so per. Dollars per hour. Okay, dollars per hour is 35. 35 times X. So I make my table. Please label it. Hours is X, dollars is Y. Now since we have this, I'm going 0 to 1 to 2. And then I'll block it off. If I don't have the per, I go 0 and then just go to the block off, but I have it. Okay, so before the $35 per hour, you had $50. Then I start adding 35, so that's 85. 85 plus 35 is going to be 120, and then it goes on, okay? Now I make my line. Equals Y. Well, the Y starts at 50. Then I'm adding $35 every hour. Every single time there's one new hour. Now again, put the closing amount, $172.50, with a question mark, because we're trying to, that's the answer to the problem. So 50 plus 35 times X equals Y, and then Y equals 172.50. So put it in for Y. You don't need a parentheses. There's not a dot with the Y. You only make a parentheses if the letter's got a multiplication dot. So we're solving for X, okay? So make a wall on the X side. You got some operations over there, don't you? You got plus and times. So highlight the times. Get the 50 to 0. It's going to be $122.50. And then 35 times X. And if I got times, I divide. 3.5, now that's okay, you can have a decimal. Time is continuous, okay? So a decimal could make sense. Okay, 5, you remember those domain range problems where you had to tell if it was continuous or discrete? Well, hours are continuous. Okay, an airplane is descending towards the ground in a linear path. After 2 minutes, the plane is 29,000 feet above the ground. After 5 minutes, that plane is 27,500 feet above the ground. How many minutes will it take the plane to descend from its initial height to its landing? So minutes equals. Okay, so we got minutes, and that's feet is dependent on minutes. So X has to be minutes, Y is feet. Okay, feet per minute. It ain't 29,000, not 29,000, that's after 2 minutes. It sure is not that. So I don't have my feet per minute. So when I make my table with the minutes and the feet, okay, minutes is X, feet is Y, I do 0 and block it there. Okay, I don't go to 1 to 2. I can't. I don't have my feet per minute. I could, but I can't. Now below it, we fill in the rest of the information. 2 minutes, 29,000. This is why it's so important to have your labels there. 5 minutes, 27,500. And then the closer is 0 feet. 0 feet, but we're trying to find the minutes that would go with that. Now, if you look at this, you obviously know there's a beginning amount. It goes down. For something to go down, it's got to start higher than 29,000. We just don't know where, so B. Okay? So, we're going to need to find B. Okay? Because there is a B at the beginning of this line. We do need to use the line here because there's a beginning amount. It wouldn't start at 0. That doesn't make any sense. To go from 0 to 29,000 then back down, what the heck? No, the plane's going in one direction, Holmes. Okay? So, how do you find the feet per minute? Well, the same way you find a slope. Okay? Y minus Y, X minus X. Now remember, Y is the feet, X is the minutes. And also these are X's and Y's right here. X, Y, X, Y. Okay, look at your X's, 5 and 2. Well, 5's higher, so put that on bottom, and then its Y partner, 27,500 on top. Then 2 on bottom with its partner, the 27,000. the 29,000, excuse me, on top. Okay, if you want to just minus them, fine. If you want to make them plus negative, that's fine too. But when you add on top, you get negative 1,500 feet. Add on bottom, you get 3 minutes. Okay, divide those, you get negative 500. So that is your feet per minute. Okay. So if you had a 6th minute, you add negative 500 to that, it'd be 27,000. Then on and on and on. So we have negative 500 times x. Okay, but we need a b. Okay. That's where y equals m times x plus b. So you can't find your b without the m, okay? This is the m, so that's why I need to use that to actually get myself an m up the line. So that's your m. Then x equals y equals. Let's pick 2 for x and then 29,000 for y. Okay, so 29,000 is y. And then we times by 2. Remember, that's negative 500. A lot of people don't put negative on 500 and they just take 500 times 2. It's negative 500 times 2. Okay, so 29,000 plus, put your b. And then I find the product of negative 500 and 2, which is negative 1,000. Now I get the plus 1,000 to 0. Don't put the 1 dot on the b, it's a waste of time. B never has a number you have to divide by. 30,000. Okay, so I got myself a b. But if that's not my answer, a lot of people just stop there and say, 30,000 is the answer. Really? 30,000 minutes? No. Okay, that just means your b is 30,000. So now you have 30,000 plus negative 500 times x equals y. Okay, so y equals 0, and now I put 0 into the equation for y. Okay, so you got plus and times. Get rid of your 30,000 by minusing it, taking it to 0. Now when you have 0 and you're subtracting from 0, it just results in the negative of that number. Okay, then you divide. And that's going to be 60, I believe. So 60 minutes, 1 hour, whatever. Okay. All right, last problem. The table shows the balance of a student's bank account at various times. You see weeks and accounts. So first thing I'm going to do is copy the table. Weeks is X, okay? And then Y is the balance. And it always goes that. This is always X, this is always Y. So 0, 15. That means at the beginning you had $15 already. 1, 35. 2, 68. Or 2, yeah, 268. No. Oh, it didn't have a 2, that's a 3. Oh well. Okay. 4, 85. 7, 105. Yeah, it skips. 9, 136. So it's a positive trend that's going up as the weeks go up. Okay, part A, you got to make that scatter plot, draw a line of best fit. Now on the y-axis, and it says it up here, you want to start at 10 and go up by 20s in increments of 20. That's what's up there. But on the x, you just number 0 to 9. So here's the x. That's your weeks. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now the y, your balance. Okay. So again, we would start at 10 and then count up by 20. So 30, 40, up by 20, sorry, 50, 30, 50, plus 20 is 70, plus 20 is 90, plus 20 is 110, plus 20 is 130, and plus 20 is 150. Okay. Now 0, 15, about right there, closer to 10 than 30 obviously. 1, 35, then skip 2, 3, 68, 4, 85, then all the way to 7, 105. Remember, these don't have to be perfect. 9, 136. Okay, then I take a straight edge, start with the first, you gotta put your rule on the first point, adjust, angle it so it's gonna go through the first point, then just through as many as you can. Okay, and then part B, you're writing the equation. There is no part C, I took that out, okay? You just gotta get the equation. Okay, so MB, so slope YN. Now I'm like, well, that's too many numbers. Okay, y equals blank x plus blank. That's a lot of numbers, okay, so I'm going to make a little mini table, x, y, and I'm going to pick just 2 points, okay? I'll pick a 0, but then I'm going to pick 2 points. Pick the one above the 3, okay, so that's the third point, so that's going to be 368, just like that. And I'll pick the one right next to it, that's the next point, okay, it's 4 and 85. And the reason I picked those is so I can use my y minus y, x minus x to find my slope. Okay, so we start with the higher x, so 4, and then above it goes its partner, 85. Then 3. Above that goes its partner, 68. So it's going to be 17 over 1, divided by that, it's 17. Now b, you can do y equals m times x plus b, I don't care, with 17 as your m, and then one of these for x and y, but b is also here. If you look up at 0 weeks, you have 15, so you can probably just use 15. I mean, I'm not a genius, but, and if you use y equals m times x plus b, you'll get something in the ballpark of 15, which I won't count you off, but you're kind of wasting time. So that's your equation. Y, the balance, is equal to 17 times the weeks plus the 15 you had at the beginning.